go with that. You guys do that. You guys make your votes. Let it be known. We'll read the results at the end after this debate topic, which our debate topic is going to be not really a debate topic. It's really more of us just kind of, well, I'll be fair. It's kind of me just complaining because, you know, no, I'll be fair. WWE releases happened on Friday.
Oh
28
yeah.
of them since 28 of them since January. Um, a lot of releases were kind of surprising to me, at least they were surprising. I don't know how y'all feel about it. But yeah, let's talk about some of these releases. I had the list up here. Let me pull it back up. So I'm gonna read just the ones that got released Friday. Now, as I mentioned, there's been 28 of them since January started. So Hunter's clearly getting rid of people as he doesn't need them. But this is not unlike anything that happens after WWE. We see this kind of time in time out. What do they call it? Is it like Black Black Friday or
Black Sunday.
Black Sunday? But this happened on Friday, so we'll call it release Fridays. I don't know. All right. So current WWE superstars that got released and then additional ones that got added to it. So we got Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Cora Jade, Riley Osborne, Gigi Dolan, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Jakara Jackson, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and then Wolfgang. Those were the big releases. Now I will say, I was definitely surprised that Gallus got released. Gallus was the one that caught me off guard because especially after they helped get The Rock back into the ring and they were like there to help him and train with him to get him back in shape. Like you would think that I don't know, maybe the chairman of the one of the board members would have tried to save those three for helping them get back into the business. But fuck me for trying to speak logically on some shit. Um let's go down this list real quick. Braun Strowman, like that dude was really putting over like other big men, and like obviously with Bronson Reed, Jacob Fatu, and I kind of felt like something was going on when I started seeing him lose time after time to after time to guy after guy after guy, and I was like, this is getting ridiculous. I don't dig this. Shayna Baszler getting cut really threw me off course, but it shouldn't have been surprising. They're not really used on TV. It's great. Sonya Deville's back. Zoe Stark, whatever they're gonna do, cool. Um, sorry, Shayna. Much love, but now you can get into GCW and you can go do Bloodsport every year and have fun. Dakota Kai
I
was
understand Dakota Kai.
I don't.
She's injured more than she's not.
I mean, yeah,
Not saying she's not a great talent. Not saying that she wasn't just, in a title for what or in a match for what, the Intercontinental title tournament.
hmm
Uh Lost to obviously Lyra Valkyria, and then you're gone again.
yeah. It was rough. I like Dakota Kai. Cora Jade, again, two ACL, MCL injuries. I do understand. Like with that thought process about Dakota Kai, I definitely understand that with Cora Jade. Riley Osborne, I'm gonna put out there. Uh who?
Yeah.
Sorry.
The kid from Chase U.
Yeah. Again.
Who?
Who?
Oh, I mean, after that was over with, I mean, he didn't do much.
We all no, stop it. We all turned into a bunch of owls when they said Riley Osborne's been released, and we're like, who? 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 Sorry, Riley. I understand. I
Oh,
know. Chase you, right? But not the you, but hey, who? Gigi Dolan getting released.
That
Jalen,
surprised the fuck out of me.
yeah,
Shame upon you people.
100%. That that is a talent right there.
You
And
did her so fucking dirty.
yep, 100%. Like, yo,
You win a match to face the women's tag team champions. You're on TNA Rebellion.
yep,
You lose your match for the women's tag team titles, and then you're fired.
yep,
Get fucked.
yep, 100% on the same boat. Kaden Carter, Katana Chance. Listen,
I can understand why.
I love them. I
I do
think
too, but I get it. They look, they survived a lot of cuts.
They made a lot of cuts.
It's like they've survived a lot of cuts, so they should be honored that it took this long.
Yep, and I mean they had a lot of people believing in them, and they let's be real though, they were lit. They were a fun
They
tag team
were.
to watch. I love seeing them work.
They
I was
did.
like,
They
yo,
were a
I'm
very
here
good
for
tag
it. I'm
team.
here for it all. Um, Jakara Jackson. So this is one that I didn't understand. Like I understand that we broke up the four. Um, and they all kind of were gonna go on their own direction. And I get that Lash is the star, right? You know, no Mar is good, right? But Lash is the star for that. But Jakara Jackson is also really good at what she does.
Yeah,
And I don't say she's picture perfect because she's obviously still very, very green in it. But the thought process that she's not she's not ready. She was working super hard. So I'm curious as to, and we'll talk about this as well. If this was like a report where uh, Dave Meltzer was talking about people being lazy, because I didn't see it with Jakara. She was very hard. She looked like she was always in a ring. She's steadily improving. So I'm very curious as to like why she went. Um, and then the last three, like I said, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang didn't make sense to me, like at all. Like these three dudes are talented dudes. Like
Oh no, they are. Well,
you want Gallus on your
pretty
show.
much everybody that was released, very talented.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
let's keep it real. Um, I think for me, all right. So because we are fans of these wrestlers, fans of wrestling, it sucks when you hear that somebody like is being released from their well paying job.
Yep.
But unfortunately, this happens all the time
It
in
does.
life. In life. And granted, yeah, it sucks, but at the same time, it's still a job. And it's like, sometimes people lose their fucking jobs. It
Yeah.
sucks. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. It sucks. But I mean, like it sucks
No.
that he said no.
Listen, the tariffs are only affecting the gas prices for WWE. Okay, that's it. They're not paying for anything. They have all the lights all set up. What they got to pay for a new light bulb every once in a while? The LED might go out. No, no. Like these guys, like I get it because when you want to, and I do understand when it comes to like, are we utilizing this dude as much as possible, and is it comparable to the salary that they're making? And if not, I get it. I understand. Make the cut, right? I just think that there's certain talent in here, like Cora Jade being one of them, that like, she had two knee surgeries. Like I
Yeah.
get it. She's being stigmatized as like she got the injure bug, right? But she's the workhorse, bruh.
Yes, she.
And she flamed up Dave Meltzer because Meltzer had reported that some people were being lazy, and Gigi Dolan had also responded. So I'm gonna read what Gigi said, and now I'm gonna read what well, Elena Black said. So Gigi writes, when I was traveling, going to work for either of the two companies I was working for, I trained very hard, 3 4 days a week, bumping my ass off and doing cardio drills with one of the best and toughest coaches I've ever worked with, and worked out every single day. Then she talks about more with the live events. And then Elena Black under that says, this plus I forget to having to go to my own gym outside of work after strength conditioning that wasn't doing anything for me other than to get my body shamed by my bosses, coworkers, and fans. It's crazy. Uh, Dave Meltzer had mentioned that many of the WWE releases were reportedly people who were perceived to not be as working hard or training, um, or working hard in training. The problem I have though is that like you know you have all these creative processes that are going on, right? We just fired. Well, I don't say we. I'm not invested in WWE yet, so TKO. Be looking for my money to get invested in these stocks. and diversify my portfolio. Um, I'm looking at the aspect of people like that are trying to work and get and work hard, right? But it's like my problem is that the like guys like Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, um, who else am I thinking of real quick? Gallows, Gallus, Duke Hudson, another one that I would think of. Like these are dudes who are like constantly like, putting in like the effort and work. Blair Davenport, another name, right? I just feel like we're getting rid of certain type of talent and it needs to kind of be talked about, right? Um that certain talent, Blair Davenport, I bring up Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, uh it just looks weird that you're cutting certain type of people out. And if you guys know what the corresponding thread to those three are, you'll also understand where I'm going with this point. Um, it just looks weird. It looks weird that you're cutting certain wrestlers out. And I know you're gonna be like, well, there's still this person, there's still that person. It's like, yeah, but it looks very odd when you're dropping wrestlers that all have a common thread. So, you know, I don't know what the idea is, but Gigi Dolan should have gone. Her and Tatum Paxley had something like special going on. Shotzi also being in that mix. She also got released to her contract wasn't renewed, but
Yeah.
we know what that meant. Um, but those three women, they had like a great dynamic going on, and you didn't have something like that from like Fatal Attraction, right? Also another person that we'll talk, Mandy
Yeah.
Rose getting released. But you had this great dynamic between those three. I think that was a great group that you had, and you just cut them. Like for what? To make room for? Are you making room for the people coming up from like LFG and for Evolve? Like, is that what we're doing? Like, what's the move? I don't get it. I don't understand. And if you are, you have Evolve already. You already have a stipend for these wrestlers that are coming in and working. And if you're gonna move them up, you got to cut these people. Then the people who are coming up, like Oba Fembi is going to be the person that replaces Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Okay, but like I hate seeing a turn and burn. That's what I'm just trying to get at.
What blows my mind about some of these releases, like you were talking about, like Gigi Dolan, for example, is we got somebody who is talented, good, obviously promoted. You had her on, your working relationship with TNA and stuff like that. But somebody like, and this is no offense to anybody on that roster, but somebody like Nikita Lyons is still there. Somebody like Corey Graves is still there. That's personal. Don't worry about that. Uh, I just it's like you were saying, you're getting rid of talent that all have something in common, but it seems like you're keeping talent that you're not really using. Like how Nikita Lyons has survived this round of cuts is impressive to me.
Yeah, 100%. Like there's something that they must really enjoy about her backstage that like she like is dynamic. Because they're like, well, she works hard. Like, great, I guess. I don't know what it is, but yeah, she's definitely not the person that I would keep backstage.
No,
You know, and there's a few other guys back there, and I understand NXT is developmental. They're still developing their talent and stuff like that. But there's people in NXT that you're not using.
nope.
They're not, you know. Yeah, and I think guys that are up on the main roster too. Like if you're trying to justify the price of keeping these people, but you're gonna bury somebody, and I say the word bury in the true aspect, not someone who takes a loss and then you're like, oh, they're being buried because they're losing. No, Karrion Cross is still actively being buried.
Yeah,
Like fans are cheering for this man, and they keep pushing it, they keep ignoring him because they're trying to find a reason, and I feel like that's what it is. And if you guys see this, he gets cut. That's why they're actively trying to ignore the movement that the fans are trying to set about trying to bring on Karrion Cross. Like I would be like, that would be the thing for me, where like Karrion Cross has been losing, and then like AOP gets cut, Paul Ellering gets cut, you know, everything that this man is trying to do to get things over, like he will be the one that I will be most pissed off about when I find out that they release him. I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, no wonder why, because you caused this man to lose numerous times and then actively ignore what happens behind the scenes, actively push other talent over him. Then you ask him to do these things, he does them, he does the good soldier thing, and then you're pissed because why? Because he went to FSW, to Future Stars of Wrestling in Las Vegas, to help promote a cause for his friend that was paralyzed for a little bit of time before he could actually start walking again. Like, what are we
This,
doing?
this
Like,
is their way of saying, "Hey, we can't release you, but we can give
yeah,
it to you."
yeah, Hunter, you know all about this because maybe you went through the whole thing too when they did the curtain call. Like,
Hmm.
that's my problem though, man. And maybe that's part of the plan is to help, like, they're gonna give this man and they're gonna feed this man as much bullshit as they can until they finally decide, like, hey man, like, no, all right, time to get you pushing.
Right?
But I'm not here for it. And if Carrion because of they cut Carrion, this will be the reason why.
Oh
It's
yeah.
because they're gonna be like, yeah, well, we know the fans like you, but we're not really utilizing you on TV, so we're just gonna ignore them. We're gonna push you out of the company.
Or they'll use the same thing that they did with this group of releases and high salaries.
Yeah, he's got a high salary, and we can't really justify it because we're not using him as much.
Right? Get fucked.
Yeah,
I don't see it. I guess as it is what it is.
unfortunately.
I mean, that's where I stand at it. It sucks, but it is what it is.
That's the problem, though, is that when we look, okay, so let's look at this 28 superstars, right? In 2025 got released. Akam, right? So Akam got released. Blair Davenport, Braun Strowman, Carmella wasn't really being utilized. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Cedric Alexander, again, a person that
Okay.
unjustly got cut. You sent him back to NXT, and he was doing things on NXT. You could have brought him back up to WWE and had him do things, and maybe he let his contract run out. I don't know. I don't know behind the scenes with that. Corey J, Dakota Kai, Duke Hudson, Eddie Thorpe, another name that kind of was weird because that man was competing for championships on the main on NXT. Electra Lopez, Gigi Dolan, Giovanni Vinci, Isla Dawn, Jakar Jackson, Javier Bernal, Joe Coffey, Carl Anderson, which I think he asked for his release. Um, Katana Chance, Caden Carter, Lou Gallows, another one I think that asked for his release.
Yeah.
Mark Coffey, Aura Mensah, which was another one that was really kind of threw me off. Paul Ellering, Razor, Riley Osborne, Shayna Baszler, Sonya Deville, Wolfgang, and also on that list too, Shotzi Blackheart. So, like, those are all the names that were being released. So 29 superstars in 2025 that got released so far. And the majority of them, I can't, like, you couldn't find a place for them at all. Like, at all? Some of
Bullshit.
those. Some of those. I think Braun's cut had been coming for a while though. Like I said, like they put him
Yeah.
over. Like he put over that Bronson Reed street fight that they had and the brawl, and
Yeah,
then Jacob Fatu. And I think at that point they were kind of like, all right, we got to go.
The
Somebody on,
writing was on the raw for me with Braun when they had Jacob just continually with that corner hip attack to him over
yeah,
and over and over. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, he's not going to be around much longer.
yeah. Oh, what's your thoughts, Damien?
Ah, all right. So look, at the end of the day, again, like I said, it sucks. But I'm definitely taking the business approach on it, and it just is what it is. I mean, these people, yeah, they lost their jobs, but they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, it was funny because I was talking about this at a show in West Virginia, and another wrestler was like, "Oh, yeah, you could have content made at somebody else's expenses." Like, I don't think you understand how much I hate watching wrestlers get released.
Right?
Period. I was like, especially when it's wrestlers like a Dakota Kai who get injured, come back, get injured, come back, and then they get injured not off of something they did, right? And then come back and they're doing great. And then you cut them, right? Like Samoa Joe is a perfect example of someone who got cut because
Yeah.
he got injured. He got injured. Why? Because of what Karrion Kross said, being a good soldier. And that was my problem with it, right? That man took a power bomb through a table for a Mattel toy commercial and then got cut after that because they said that he was injury prone. Stupid. And now look what he's doing on look what he's doing on AEW right now. Man, it's fucking lightning in a bottle.
Right.
This bothers me. Get that off my chest. All right, well, that's the end of the show, y'all. What's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and thank you for checking out this episode of the Three Count Podcast. Whether that was Chaz Friends, Red Dog Friends, Damien Friends, The Films Lounge, Now Entering the Ring, Now Entering 201, or Now Returning to the Ring, all those good episodes, you should really be liking, commenting, and even sharing this with your friends, family, whoever it may be. But what you all should be doing is checking us out on all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod, whether that's on IG, Twitch, you can check us out on Threads, whatever it may be. And if you go check us out on X, it is 3count_pod. Check us out on YouTube, as well as Facebook, on Rumble, on Apple Music, on Spotify, all those fun things. Tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your best friends and your enemies, because we love haters too. Do all that stuff. And then, last but not least, buy our merch on foryourwear.com or prowrestlingtees.com. Kawaii.